Lovely to talk to you, Jeremy.
Thank you for having me.
But I like to think about people thinking about, like, you know, this is the air you breathe. If you're in the ocean, that's the air they breathe. And so
Mm.
the chemicals that are going into the ocean have got to be affecting them.
Well, it's actually the air that we breathe, because
And it's,
these little bacteria called Prochlorococcus and these carbon-based life forms called coccolithophores. I mean, what they do is they sit there and they get fed on all the stuff that we would throw away, carbon and whatnot, and then they use photosynthesis to create every second breath of air that we breathe. So, if we're allowing this like runoff to come in from the rivers into the oceans, and we actually reduce the amount of that phytoplankton that exists, it is a real thing to say, do you care about the oceans? No. Okay, do you care about breathing? Yes. Well, then you need to care about the oceans, because if we have no life in the oceans, which is what's predicted by 2048, there will be no life on the rest of the planet. It's going to be very hard for us.
exactly. This is why I was so excited to see what you were doing, particularly with the stuff you're doing with the DNA.
Environmental DNA. And basically what that is it's like, if we go swimming in the ocean, there's going to be little things that come off of us. And, maybe if we go to the bathroom in the ocean, God forbid, there's going to be some of our DNA that gets left behind in the ocean. And the reason why I mentioned that specifically is because that was a breakthrough that we just recently had. Was I had this idea. I thought, well, what if I could just take a sample out of the water column? Could I find different DNA? And obviously tuna is the most valuable because, well, there's just hardly any left.
Yeah.
And we've catered a taste, yummy, for tuna, and so now everybody wants it. So I thought, okay, cool. What if I can take some samples? And so that's what we did. We took some samples, we sent it up to Harvard, and at the same time, I went in the water around Jamaica and I pulled all these just different water samples. And then Harvard, because you can't really process this in Jamaica, so Harvard ran those samples because you can get all kinds of data. And because you might get DNA from a blue whale that existed 200 years ago, right? So this stuff is still around. How do I know that it's current? Well, I just wanted to see what I could see. That was just the first exploration for me.